welcome back. So I think we're getting ready to do the Italian companies. We're starting with SFAI first. And just a reminder, we triggered the end game because an 8 train has been bought. And I'm repeating it for my own memory's sake, not just for yours. But when the end game is triggered in a game like this, we still easily have another hour of gameplay left. So what that means is when it's triggered in this first operating round, we're going to finish this operating round, we're going to finish the second operating round, then we're going to do another stock round, and then we do what's called a double blitz kind of thing. There's an official term for it, but we call it double blitz. So laying track, buying trains can only be done in this operating round and the next. And after that, you can't buy any more trains, you can't lay any more track. So you're very limited in what you can do. We only get basically 2 chances. And then when we do what's called the double blitz round, we're just finding our best routes and earning double the income for it. So it's a really nice payout. And it also, if you think about it, it's going to make it so those 8 trains are worth buying, right? I mean, the whole point of buying an 8 train is so you can get money out of it. And if the game ended immediately when you bought the 8 train, well, then there's no point in buying one. So by doing this, we're going to get 3. Those who buy an 8 train in this operating round are going to get to use that 8 3 times. And then those who buy the 8 train in operating round 2 are going to get to use that 8 2 times. So that's the situation that we're in. And this is why I mentally and internally debate all the time. If you're sitting with let's say you buy an 8 train this turn. So let's look at this situation here. He has a 4D and a 5+5. So when GWR takes his turn next operating round, GWR is being a government company. The government company can buy this 5+5. It will make the government company better. He's going to make more money as a government company if he does that. But then when it's your turn, you're going to have a round where you're only going to operate off of 1 train. And yes, you will be able to buy an 8 train, that is for certain, and then you'll get to do 2 rounds with that 8 train. But is that better than just doing 3 rounds with this situation and letting the government company have what it has? That is a really difficult decision. And I think you have to sit and do some number crunching in your head. And it's largely going to be determined on how many shares of this do you own versus how many shares of that. Because obviously by doing this, you're making your government more profitable. So therefore, you're going to be more profitable if you own a lot of shares of it. And you're going to actually hurt your income for 1 round. You're going to make less money than you would if you just kept both of these. And yes, you're going to make more money with the 8 train later, but that extra money you make with the 8 train may never make up the loss of having a 5+5 gone for 1 round. But it should make it up at least so you're breaking even, maybe. So I'm thinking, you'll at least break even. And so then you're helping your government. So if you're going to break even and you're helping your government, that's overall better than just holding onto the train completely. And remember, you're helping your government for 2 more rounds. So it's not just 1 round you're helping your government, it's 2 more rounds you're going to help your government. And so that's the stuff that goes through my head, and it should go through yours as well if you're playing this. Okay, we are on the Italian companies, and it's SFAI's turn. And I'm going to just swing around to where all the track tiles are. Plus, I took a break because our battery was going dead, and I had my calculator in my pocket the entire time. So let's put that back. Okay, so I'm putting this down like so. The one thing you can't see is down here, there is 1 city. So we will be considering upgrading that. And then there's a red zone underneath all my stash of money. And I'm going to check it right now. It's worth 80 bucks. So it's just like any other Y city would be. So there you can see most of Italy. Okay, first priority, of course, is the Y cities. So we're going to do 2, 4, and 6. So no issue there. And we get 9 track points. So we still have 2 more track points we can do. And then, yeah, we're gonna upgrade. I'm gonna upgrade this city that you can't see on the camera. And I'll just put a gray there. And it needs to be a special gray. Just because there's C zones and you can't have the track on the C zones, but that's okay. We said that we needed to get this double whistle stop, remember? We had that problem last time, so I do have 1 more track point, and so we're gonna have to get that rectified. So the government, of course, doesn't have to pay money, so that $60 mountain is no problem. And then we can get this upgraded too. So there's, to use this phrase, there's a lot of work to do, Scooby-Doo. So SFAI is done, and I'm just trying to see what if SFAI has a 5 and a 4 and a 3. So that is a 12 plus 12. I actually think we're going to get screwed on the whistle stops, but let's see what a 12 plus 12 is going to look like for us. So we're going to do the red zone first, and that we said was $80. And then the 3 Y cities we just upgraded is going to be 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we're up to 4. And then Naples is $80, so that's 5. And now we have to do the rest of the cities. So we have 1 city we upgraded to gray, so that's 60 for 6. And then we have, I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 40 cities for 7, 8, and 9. And then I see a $30 city here for 10. Okay. Now the card always tells you how many total cities there are, and I think there are just 10 in Italy. So we can go double check that and make sure, but assuming that it's just 10 and we counted them all, that's everything. And then it says we get to add $60 per city after that. So there was 2 more cities for 120 for 11 and 12. So that's how you do that. Okay, so that's 73. So now we have to do 12 whistle stops. And so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 whistle stops times 20. All right. And then we have 7. This is France. Can't count that. 7, 8 at $10. So that's 20 more. Okay. We're missing these 2 here. We're missing those 2. Now the rules do say if you have more whistle stops than in your country, you get to add $10 per whistle stop, not 20. And I did check that whenever I looked up the rules in the last video. But here's the thing. Since I didn't develop those, and I needed to put at least a yellow token there, I'm not going to get the money. And so I don't get to add anything else. So maybe what I should have done is instead of upgrading this 1 city to gray, which gave me $20 more, I should have just put yellow tokens down and at least gotten a yellow token on those whistle stops. So then I could have added $20 there and keep going. And in fact, if I was really maximizing my money, I should do that. So it's a mistake, but that's the situation here. Is I would get to add $10 for every whistle stop beyond what's available, but I'm done, is the answer here. So I'm at $87, and then I do have a 5 plus 5 in that arsenal, so I get to add $50 for a whistle stop. So it is $92 a share. That's a good government run. So considering it's not fully upgraded, that's still a very good run. And you can see Italy is a great country to be a government in. What's funny is I'm proving that Austria-Hungary is a great country to be a government in, and I was thinking that it was a crappy one. So anyways, at $92 a share, that's for SFAI, and I'm looking around to see who owns SFAI, and I think it's all on the other side of the board. So we know 2, 3, 4, 5. So we know that 6 shares are owned by Medici. So he's getting 552. I'm looking at mine. I'm looking at. Yeah, I think they're all owned by Wellington. So does Wellington actually own 4 shares? He might. He does. So 92 times 4. So 368 for him. And so 552 for Medici. So we're just going to grab the 5 here. 52. And then it said, oh, it's in my pocket. 368. So 300, 50, 60. We're going to do just 370. Take $2 back. Okay, so that was Medici's run. And of course, he's going to go up on the stock board, and he cannot buy a train. Well, he can. So is Mav going to sell a train to him? I think the answer is yes. So I'm thinking about it while I move the stock here. So we're going to move this up 1, and then we're going to grab some. So I have all kinds of cool stuff. Like that's a $10,000 chip. And there's a $5,000 chip. But I'll just grab one of those. But these are a bunch of $1,000 chips and a couple more 500s. I'm just going to grab this whole stack and get these up here. And we'll put them here by Great Britain so we can use those as we need to. In fact, I can put in 2 500s and take 1,000 right now. Okay, I think that's going to happen because Mav here looks like it's going to have enough money to buy a train. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 500, $600, and he's not going to make money on his run though. So we have to be careful. But he is going to get money for selling this 5 train, and that should be good enough to get him to where he needs to be. And then this is just going to be insane in terms of profit. So at 475, I think I was saying 230 is what I was, or 235 is what I was giving everybody. 25, 35. So I've just been rounding it down. And so that extra 200, and then even this little change is going to probably amount to another 100. I think he has plenty to at least buy a 7 train, if not an 8. So Mav should be fine. Okay, so now we have this weird situation where you have 2 of them that are worth 250, and MZA actually goes first. So we're going to do MZA next. That's a government company. So it's also Medici run. So let's get these tiles moved. Make room for our camera. And let's figure out what we're going to do. There's so much to do. So the good news is the Y-cities are already upgraded. And the Metropolis is. So now it's, and then the whistle stops are mostly upgraded. So now it's just a matter of everything else. So what I think we're going to do is just get the cities, because we do need to get a lot of these cities. So like this is 2, 4, 6, and then 8. We're just going to say, what do we appreciate? And we're just going to get a bunch of those upgraded here. So I'm looking for, so I got this. That's the only one that can fit there. So 2, 4, 6. Then I need another one of those for 8. So that's actually a special one. So it's a good thing we did that one first. Yeah, So now let's figure out what kind of trains they have. I'm peeking over the table here. I think he has a 9 plus 9. 1 second. Yeah, he has a 9 plus 9. So he's not even as good as SFAI these days, but a 9 plus 9 is still pretty good. So we're going to do, obviously, 100 for Madrid, and then 80 for the two Y cities. That's going to be 3. Then 80 for Portugal, 80 for Casablanca, that's 5. And then 120 for North Africa is 6. So that gets us to 540. And then we have enough enough other cities to do 7, 8, 9 for 720. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Six, 7, 8. I got to add one more. So this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then that's 6, 7, 8. So I got to add one more. So plus one more for 60. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We easily have 9 double whistle stops. So it gets us to 960. And then we're going to add another $30 for the Pullman. So that's $99 a share. That's actually better than the Italy payout was. But mind you, this one is much more upgraded than Italy. But $99 a share is excellent. And he gets 2, 3, 4, 5. He has 6 shares. So we're going to give him $600 and take $6 back. Looking around, who else has MZA? We have one. So we're going to take $100 and put $1 back. De Gaulle has 2. So we're going to give him $200 and put $2 back. So that was what, 3 shares? Oh, Tchaikovsky has 1, so we're going to give him $100. Take $1 back. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, and he has the other 6. So we should be good. And while we're here, you may be wondering which way does it go? It goes to the right. So taking another 500 and a 100, and we're going to put $6 back. Okay, so next up after that is the other Italian companies. This is like the Medici hour. He's going 3 times in a row. This is when the rest of us get our dinner in. So that's Italy again. So let's go back to Italy. While we're here, we're going to grab the Naples, because he's definitely going to be upgrading Naples. And let's do that. And we definitely got to get that double whistle stop upgraded, or at least placed. And that'll be our 1 point, because we always have 1 left over, right? So Naples is finally looking like a decent city. So that was 4 track points. And for the 5th track point, we definitely want to get at least 1 double whistle stop in. We could always upgrade it, but it's going to cost 4 points to do. But we wanted to get that in so that way we could, not get punished anymore. But what I think we want to do is, let's see, that's 3, so 9. So we have 6 points left. So what I think we want to do is we want to upgrade this one for 2. And that gets us to a nice $60 one there. And then this one for 4. So let's get it all the way up to gray. And we do have a special tile that'll fit there. Okay, so that was all of his points. And I think that's going to work out much better for them. And Italy's actually in great shape. So this is why Italy's nice. It didn't take that many track points to get it up to full capacity. Spain, on the other hand, takes a lot more. But with that said, let's go. Oh, we have to figure out what kind of trains he has. He has a... I got to walk all the way around just to figure that out, because I can't see on the other side of the table. He has a 5 and 2 3s. This is SFR. Yes, SFR. He has a 5 and 2 3s. So that's 8, 9, 10. That's an 11 plus 11. So we're going to get 11 towns and 11 whistle stops. So first things first, before we forget it, is the red zone for 80. That's 1. Then Naples for 2. And then we have 1, 2, 3 Y cities for 1. So that's 3, 4, 5. Okay. Then we have a $60 city down here at the toe for 6. We have a $60 city just to the right off the camera that way for 7. And then we have a $60 city here for 8. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So is there only 8 cities in all of Italy? I think the answer is yes. So we said it was a 5, it's 11 plus 11. So now we're going to need to do 9, 10, 11. So we're just adding $60 cities for every one that's extra. So that gives us a 78. So now we got to do whistle stops. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 whistle stops. 6 times 20. Okay, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 $10 whistle stops. So that's 4 more for 40. That gets us to 10. And then now that we're any whistle stops that are over, we get to just add 1 more for 10 more. Okay, so $95 a share, but then we get to add $50 for the Pullman. That's a cool $100 a share. So that's so far the best government run for Medici. Medici's getting excellent money out of these companies. Okay, so that's SFR, and I'm looking around to see who owns SFR, and I think it's going to be Mr. Wellington. Oh, no, it's not Mr. Wellington. Look at this. SFR is just sitting there. I think everybody took SFAI because SFAI had better trains, but since SFAI went first, it didn't benefit from all the upgraded track. So SFR ended up doing better than SFAI, even though it had worse trains. See, there's a lesson learned for you. Sometimes you can help think yourself. So we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shares here, and I think all 3 shares are over there. So he's getting $700. So I'm going to put this 500 back, take 1,000. And then 200 more. Okay, so he can't get any more trains. I mean, we have 3 governments here, and MAV can only give up so many trains. And so I think that was an excellent run for SFR. And obviously SFR moves up on the stock track. So next up is looking at this, it would be Lizard and then RCP. So Lizard is obviously Mr. Troikovsky here, and it's not a government, but we're going to help out the government and spend the 6 track points here. And I'm going to grab a drink real quick. Okay, Lizard has just a 5+5 train because we just sold the 4 train. So his run is going to be somewhere around $700 probably. And he does want to help the governments, but he's the perfect guy to upgrade Constantinople. Because as much as he wants to help the governments, he needs to still help himself. And the governments can always help themselves later. Constantinople helps him now. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and I'm just reaching over. Now, here's the crazy thing, and this is the other reason why he wants to do it, is you look here, if I upgrade Constantinople, it actually has another spot. And De Gaulle is getting angry because De Gaulle was going to do it. He really wanted to get one of his tokens there. But Constantinople, after we upgraded it, now has an extra token spot. So Lizard is looking at his situation, and I know these all moved around, but he still has a $40 token. So he's going to put a token right there in Constantinople. Because as much as I don't like playing the blocking game, if it's Constantinople or Berlin or London, you take it. Because somebody else will if you don't. So there's $40. And that's going to allow him to get Israel in the thing. And it's worth it for that extra city. So that was 4 of his points, and now he just has 2 more points. And looking at the board, it's a simple, we're just going to upgrade one of these. And of course, the tokens are just out of my reach. So it's just a simple $60 upgrade, but that will benefit the governments very much. Okay, so what do we got? We got Levant is 120 for 1. Constantinople is now 100 plus 100 for the bonus, so that's 2. Then we know Moscow is 100 for 3, and St. Petersburg is 100 for 4. So there's 4 major cities already. And we have a 5 plus 5, so we just need to add 1 more city. And since Lizard has a token here, we can go over to North Sweden for the 5th city. So we're actually going to just add another 100. So look how amazing that run is. That's a $620 run. And then he has a $60 whistle stop. And then 20 times the 4 remaining. He's got a $760 run, and he has a Pullman for 50. This is just 1 train, folks, $81. So Lizard had a fantastic run for just a 5 train, and I'm looking at his shares, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 times 81, 567 for Tchaikovsky. So we're going to get 50. We're going to just grab, 560, 5, and then 2. All right, so we did that. 1,000, 2,000. He's going to put $3,000 over here and take 3 of these for himself. Okay, so 567 there, and then does anybody else have it? We have plum here. If you're just looking for purple, I see 3 lizards right over there. So 3 times 81, 243. So we're gonna grab 250 out of the hopes that he has $7 and change. And we're gonna come around and give him 50, and of course he doesn't. So we'll take $10, and he gets $3 back. So let's grab 3 for Mr. De Gaulle. So Mr. De Gaulle made $81 off of Lizard. Remember, he took a gamble that Lizard's going to make him good money. I think it's a fair gamble. Lizard had 2 trains at the time. He sold 1. So Lizard could get a better train. And so let's go see if that is going to pay off for him. So I'm pretty sure we remembered to pay Lizard when he got his better train, but let's see. This is Lizard's money, And then this is MSP's money. MSP doesn't have as much. So let's consolidate 5, 10, 15, 20. So this is 25 and $5. So we're just helping consolidate some money. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And so that's MSP money. MSP doesn't have enough for a train, but that's okay. He already has 2. And so I think he's just going to finish the game with that because he wouldn't have enough for another train. Now, Lizard, on the other hand, has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 700 right there. So I'm going to just start putting that away. Just remember, we have 700. We know for sure we're spending 700. And then this is 800, 900. Okay, so 900 is good enough for a really nice train. And then look at this. He's got a 500. So we're going to spend 100 more. So I'm actually going to grab $400 back and give it to him. So he has like more money than you can shake a stick at. And he's getting, Mr. de Gaulle is very pleased with his investment. So he's getting a 5D. So Lizard is ready for prime time. Okay, that 5 plus 5 is not as good as some other trains could be, but Lizard is ready for prime time. Okay, Lizard moves up. Next up is RCP. Okay, that's Mr. de Gaulle's company, and it is not a government. And he has a 6 plus 6, so he's ready to buy a train. His situation is a very simple one. Spain is already fully upgraded for him, so that part's nice. He can try to upgrade Amsterdam because he's in Amsterdam. And the problem with the Amsterdam upgrade is I don't think this works. See, this is the only tile left. And if we look at Amsterdam, there are, see, there's 2 spots. He needs one of those K-looking tiles. And so he cannot upgrade Amsterdam, even though there's 1 left. So whoever the player was that needed to, oh, and it's actually de Gaulle. So de Gaulle, if he took this and upgraded Amsterdam, he would actually screw his Bell company and his France company because we need a Y tile for France. So de Gaulle's not going to hurt himself just to upgrade that. If he needs to get into London so bad, he'll just buy another token. You know, it's not like he needs to. I mean, that whole point of Amsterdam was so he can get into London. And if you look, Lille is now upgraded, and so there's no reason to worry about it anymore. It would need some track to get around Amsterdam if you wanted to, if you wanted to somehow go from London over to Berlin, you would need some track to get around Amsterdam there because that part's not fully developed. But long story short, he's not upgrading Amsterdam. That's the important part. So moving on with this, what is he going to do? He can help out the Spanish governments, but the Spanish governments are in great shape to help out themselves. Remember, they're going to get 9 more track points next time. And yes, it is going to cost a lot of track points to upgrade some of these cities, but I think they're fine. So next thing he wants to do is he needs to help his France counterpart. So since he is in Amsterdam, so he has a token up there, he has access to all of France. And so he is going to spend 2 points to upgrade where Bell is. So he's going to use the token, just not where we thought he was going to. So Bell's getting upgraded, like so. So he can do that for 2, and then for 4, he can upgrade Paris. And that helps the French companies to not have to spend 4 track points there. So that's a good move. And now Paris is upgraded. So we have 2 metropolises that have not yet been upgraded. One is Vienna, the other is Birmingham. And those will be upgraded very soon, I'm sure. Okay, So that was his 6 points. So now what's he going to do? He only has one 6 train for his route. He has a South Seas token. And here's the thing. Normally you need this to cancel this, and then the South Seas token did the 1, 2 that you needed to go there. Well, now this one, this token, now that we're at the gray count, does 2. 1, 2, so he's only spending one of his 2 points to go to Constantinople. So we have 1 point left over, and it has to be used in the South Sea. So I want to call your attention to this. North Africa is worth 120. It has a port here. It costs 1 sea zone to go to that port. So we can go from here to there using that 1 port authority point that we no longer need for the Constantinople run. So I can go from 1 to 2 and then up to Portugal and then through Madrid and then on the way. Okay, that's one thing I can do. The other thing I can do is, if you look at New York up there, I know the tray's covering it up, but there's a sea zone in New York, and then there's this sea zone in the North Atlantic. That's 2 sea zones, which this token here more than covers. So we can go from New York straight to Portugal. The problem is we can't do both. We can't do this to Portugal and then somehow include New York in the route. That's the problem that we have. Now, one thing rule-wise, I should have explained a long time ago. This is a double arrow, meaning you can go in and out of these. Some of them, like New York, or here, Casablanca, this is an in only, see? You can't go in and then back out. It sort of makes sense. I mean, anywhere that has a port, you can go in and out, and anywhere that doesn't, you can't. But anyways, we have to figure out the route. So let's go backwards. Constantinople would be 1. This port would be 2. Madrid would be 3. Portugal would be 4. We need to do a 6 plus 6. So we need 2 more cities. And even if we go to New York, that would only be 5. So we would need another city. This is where having a token in Constantinople helps, because then you get to add Israel to your route. So this is a pickle. The other thing we can try to do is, I mean, we could land here at this port, which takes another sea zone, but we have the point for it. We just can't go here anymore. We can land here, include this, and then go to Madrid and then up. But see, there's no token here, so we got to be careful. So, how do we get an extra city in our route? Well, I know it sounds crazy, but we can do this port here, because you're coming in and you can actually go over, down, and then up and then out, and you're actually never reusing track, because you're using the track coming in, you're using the track going that way, and then you're using the track coming this way, and then the track going out. It's a crazy route, but just remember, you can't double count a tile. So I guess we could get away with that. It's not... Oh, the other thing we can... No, I was going to say we could land here, but we need... That's a private port. We can't land there. That's actually quite the pickle. So see, the 6 plus 6 train is not super helpful to him. Obviously, if we go up there and do something up there, we can, we can even put a token in Hamburg, right? There's a spot available, and then we can go to London. But we would still have the 6 plus 6 dilemma, even if we did that. This is really tough. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And if worse comes to worse, you could just not do 5 and 6. I think we have to do our zigzag thing down here, which sucks, because then we would have upgraded that city. Yeah, it's not a... One other thing we can consider is, looky here. see this is a ferry, so we can actually go start in Moscow, come down and use all the bypasses, take this ferry, and then see that ferry has a -1, which normally sucks, but we can use our South Seas token. You can use your Port Authority to cancel a ferry. And remember, we have an extra +1. Remember I told you that? So we can use the extra +1 to cancel the ferry. So we can go from Moscow to there. Well, actually, we would go from Berlin. Why would we choose Moscow? We'd go to here in 2. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. And we just take the ferry, so we're not reusing track. Well, hell, we don't even need to do that. We could just take the track and go to here, and then we come out the port, right? And then we come in here for 3, and then 4, and then 5, and then we go to New York for 6. That's our route. So sorry. I mean, that probably might have seemed very obvious to some of you, and I don't know why I was having such a brain fart about it, but that's a wonderful route. So let's do 120 for Berlin, 200 for Constantinople, and then 80 for the port, and then 100 for Madrid, and then 80 for Portugal, and then 160 for New York. That's the run, 740. And then we're going to do, yeah, because we went from Berlin, I only see 1, 2, 3 brown whistle stops there. 4, 5. Oh yeah, we can get to 7. So 20 times 6. And then we have a Pullman for 60. So that's $92 a share. That's a good run on one train. So $92 a share for RCP, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 92 times 6 for De Gaulle, 552. So we'll grab a 500 over here, and he's getting up there. He's a scrapper, Mr. De Gaulle. Even when Germany takes over his country, he forms the resistance to liberate France. Okay, so that's that. But who else owns RCP? Mr. Tchaikovsky does. He has 4 shares of it, in fact. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 92 times 4. Right now, it's no better than a government, but it's also no worse than a government was. So the government, though, was higher value. Remember, he made that choice that he thinks that this is going to make more money. Remember, he did that with 1 train, and the governments are making in the 90s right now, right? So compare the two. This guy's making 90s with 1 train. The governments are making 90s with all their trains. So his gamble might pay off. Right now, he's making the same amount of money that those governments would have that were higher stock value, right? But these next several rounds, this guy's going to buy an 8 train, and he's going to just start making gangbuster money. So let's get him paid $368, and we're going to just grab 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's $1,000 right there in 100s, and look, he has a giant stack of more money. So RCP is just sitting pretty. He could possibly sell that 6 train and get another one. I don't know if that's worth it, but he could do it. So we're definitely getting a 5D for RCP, and that's going to help him immensely. So I said it was $368 for Mr. Tchaikovsky, so let's go get him paid. We'll use these hundreds here. 1, 2, 3, 50, 60, and we'll make it 70. And take $2 back. Always help out with cleanup. Be a good player. Okay, that is, who was that? That was RCP. Okay, sorry about that. RCP moves up. Next is Bell. So De Gaulle's going to get to go again, and then we get to go with SB. So de Gaulle's happy because RCP really helped him. And France is starting to develop really nice. France was able to get all the gray tiles it needed. And so now it's just a matter of catching up. Now, here's the thing with France. It doesn't even have enough whistle stops. It doesn't have enough everything. So right now, Bell is sitting on a 6+6. Bell is in London, and he needs to do a run from London, so we're not worried about that. He would love to upgrade Birmingham, but he needs to help his government. That's the higher priority at this point. So, yeah, there's a lot going on here, but there's a million things he can upgrade. But we're going to do just 2, 4, 6, right? We're going to just upgrade these. Actually, we're going to do 2, 4, and you'll see why in a second. And where did I put these tokens? I'm looking for the gray city tokens. I have no idea. Oh, here they are. Right in front of me. Okay. That one's actually a special one. Good thing we did that one right away. And where was the other one? Oh, down here. This one's a pretty easy one. So 2, 4. And then what I want to do is I want to upgrade this because this is a whistle stop that could be used along a route. And France needs whistle stops upgraded too. France needs a lot of help. So that's 6. Okay, so we can go into, we have a token in London. So I'm not too worried there. He has a 6+6. So we're going to go backwards again from Constantinople. And Constantinople, of course, is a $200 spot. Then we're going to count Warsaw because we need to just count cities. We're in trouble. So that's 2. And then Hamburg would be 3 for 80. And then if we land into London, that's going to be 120 for 4. And then we get to add 2 more spots. So we're going to go into Lille, France for 5, and then finish off in Paris for 6. There's our run. That's actually a pretty good run. So that's 660. And I'm looking at double whistle stops, and I see 1, 2, 3, 4. I see 4. Can I count? If I loop through London twice, I can count those 2. So yeah, we're going to just give him 6. Plus 6 times 20 is 780. And then he's going to get 60 for his Pullman. So that's 84 a share. And remember, he only has one train, so that's decent. We probably want to consider putting a token somewhere with him. Because he is, he's going to have 2 trains, and all of his tokens are sort of centered on Paris and London. Now, we have this thing. And so this is something that we haven't used the entire game. So I'm going to use it now, and I'm going to grab his most expensive token, and we're just going to put it in Moscow so he can have somewhere else to go with a route. We could also put it in Italy, like Naples. There's a lot of options here. He does not have a South Seas token, or a North Seas token for that matter. So I would love to put it in St. Petersburg, but St. Petersburg is blocked. I could put it up in North Sweden, but then I'm sort of in a weird spot there. I'd have to buy a North Seas token to help out. I could put it in Copenhagen. You know what? There's a lot of places. I just want to make it so I get a nice, I'm going to be buying a 5D train, and I want to be able to do a doubler, right, on 5 cities. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh. I'm just trying to figure out where the best place is for him to go. And I honestly don't know the answer. It'd be nice to go up into Russia, because then I can count all those red zones. We can hit every one of them on the way up to Moscow. And there's plenty of room. I can put a token in Moscow and not even block other people. I mean, it's not even like it's an unfriendly thing to do. We can put one in Vienna and go through that way. But see these little mountains here? Those only work for us. Berlin is off limits. We can't go through Berlin. We did make it into London, which is a wonderful place to be. Obviously, France, Paris is available to us, but we're already there, so we don't need another token there. We can get, Naples, like I said, but it's sort of off its own thing. So I think now if we put ourselves way up there in Finland, we can do some weird shenanigans up in the North Sea, but now here's the other thing. Birmingham here has a port. Or no, that's Bristol. That's this. Birmingham's port is there. Nope, Birmingham does not have a port. So that's the issue. I was thinking maybe if Birmingham had a port, we can come into London and then go through Birmingham and then go to New York. You can do that, but you would have to... You'd have to go somewhere else. And remember, Liverpool there is upgraded. I'm going to do that. I'm going to put this on Liverpool, because now if we go through Liverpool, we can actually go to New York. And this counts as a token, and then the New York is covered. So that's actually a wonderful place to put a token. So we can land in Berlin, or land in London, go through Birmingham into Liverpool, and then to New York. So that's a good route. And then we have this thing we never used, and I'm also going to give that to Bell. And so this token we're going to put in Moscow. So he now has a token. Actually, we don't even... Oh, no. What am I smoking? The perfect use of this is right here. Constantinople. You get to put it in a fully... So now we could put it there. We could have put it in Berlin. Whoa, wow. I'm so sorry, folks. I'm spacing out. That's the whole point of this. De Gaulle could have done that a long time ago. So we could... Now we can go to Israel and count that as part of our loop. Or I can put it in Berlin, because I get to count this anyways. I just don't get to count Israel. I can put it in Berlin. Then I can count Berlin, but it's 6 or 1/2 dozen. This is $120. Berlin's $120. So we're going to put it there, and then we get to count Israel. Although if I put it in Berlin, I get to count Berlin twice, which might not be a bad move. Because I don't think such tough choices. I'm going to put it in Berlin like that. And then what you do is you take the other token and put it there to show that it belongs to Bell. So now Bell is in Berlin, and we can count that for Constantinople runs. Oh my gosh, I should have used that token many rounds ago. And I don't want to say that's why De Gaulle's losing, but it would have helped him immensely, yes. Okay, so let's get him paid. $84 a share times 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 84 times 6 is $504. So I'm grabbing a $1,000 token because De Gaulle is just that bonkers these days with his money. He's doing really well. And then he gets $4 more, so we're going to give him a 5, take a 1 back. So there's some thousands over here. Don't mistake his small amount of change there. Now, does anybody else own Bell? And somebody does, because Bell moved up. Who does? I don't see any Bell over there. Oh, Bell owns Bell. So the company itself still owns its own shares. So this is 1, 2, yeah, there's 4 shares there. So Bell's getting paid. And so 4 times 84 is 336. So 325, 35, 36. Okay. So I'm at 55 minutes and I gotta go run some errands. So I will be quitting soon, but let's get his train bot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So here's $1,000. And he's buying himself a handy dandy 8 train. Now the rules are very clear. These are unlimited. So if you somehow run out of cards, just make up stuff. There's no such thing as component limitation when it comes to the 8 or 7 trains. Okay, so Bell did a wonderful job and is moving up. So when we come back, it'll be SB's turn. Thank you for watching.